Brendle, and today we are going to be showing our January monthly budget, starting the new year fresh, getting everything set up. Well, actually we are at the end of the first week, but I did go over our January budget with Matt and we decided where we were going to put everything. I just haven't put it into the book and shown you guys. So we're going to dive into that. Let's start over here. We're going to write out the categories and then go over the numbers. So first, our income, we always combine this. We do have separate checking accounts, but as soon as mine goes in, I transfer over what I got. So then for fixed expenses, we have mortgage, Tacoma, our phone bill, life insurance, internet, Netflix, and Hulu. And then down here for variable, we have sinking funds, groceries, sewer and garbage, and restaurant, or eating out, as some may say. And then for extras, we put our savings down here. Alrighty, so now we're going to move into our budget amounts. So for combined, we expect $5,400. For mortgage, it is currently $1,181. I think that's going to go up significantly here in the next couple months when they usually reevaluate our property taxes and home insurance. Tacoma, our minimum is $590. Our phone bill is $152. Life insurance is $38. Internet is $30. Netflix is $10. And Hulu is $2. For a total of $2,003. For sinking funds, we are going to put $1,733 in those. Groceries, we are right around $700 these days. I don't know if I've mentioned it lately, but just so you guys know, groceries also includes household items such as cleaning products and paper towels, toilet paper, that kind of thing. I have a hair in the sticker. Oh, that's gonna bother me. There's the luxuries of having dogs. Okay, so back to this. Sewer and garbage, we're estimating $79. We're putting it in variable because it does fluctuate. It has sewer, garbage, and our recycling. And so depending on the month, it can vary. So for restaurant, it is $75. We're gonna add towards that. And that brings the total variable to $2,587. So then for savings, we would take the $5,400 minus our total fixed expenses and total variable expenses and get $810. So that is what we plan our January budget to look like. And then we're gonna pop over to this side and go over our sinking funds categories. To start off, our first category is auto insurance. Next we have auto maintenance. And then beauty. A lot of these are the same as last year, but we did change a couple things. So next we have card tabs. Clothes for myself. And clothes for Matt. Next we have Costco, and that is just for our membership. We have dogs, and they get their own category. We put our electric in here so that we can average it throughout the year. Entertainment is next. Next we have fitness / health. And then furniture. I'm hoping that this year we get a new couch, but it kind of depends on whether we can find one we like. Gas. We have gifts, and we have this separated as we did last year for Christmas. And then we have gifts in general, which is for birthdays throughout the years, holidays, that kind of thing. Next we have home extras. And then home improvement. Next we have hunting, and so this is a category that used to be hunting and outdoors, but we've separated it into hunting and outdoors. So hunting will just be for Matt's hunting, and outdoors could be for things or more recreational that include both of us or are just not really hunting related. Medical is our next category. And then we have office supplies and books. And then next is the outdoors category that we were just talking about. Next we have technology and vacation. And last we have our water bill, which is a quarterly bill, so we get it every 3 months. So now those are all the categories that we have. I think the other one, let's see, we took away HOA because from what we understand, that's been dissolved. And then we did get rid of Amazon Prime. We no longer have that subscription, so we don't have to save for it. And I think those are all the changes. So next we're going to go over our budget amounts that make up the $1,733 from our budget. So for auto insurance, we have that fully funded, so we don't need to add to that. Auto maintenance, we're putting at $75. We currently have a car wash subscription for $20 a month. That'll be part of that. So next we have beauty. So I'm adding 200. Car tabs, that's fully funded, so we're not contributing to that. Clothes, we're adding 100. Costco is fully funded, so we're not contributing. Dogs, we are adding 100. Electric, we are adding 90, but I will say when we made this budget, it was in December, and I hadn't looked at our totals for 2022, so we have already decided to increase that to 95, but I didn't want to mess with this budget. It'll just be reflected in our actuals. So entertainment is 100. Fitness, we are not adding anything to. Furniture, we are adding 100. Gas, we're adding 250. Christmas, we've already funded for next year. Gifts, we're adding 50. Home extras, we are adding 100. Home improvement, we are not adding anything. Hunting, we're adding 50. Medical, we're adding 50. Office supplies and books, we're adding 100. Outdoors, we're adding 100. Technology, we're adding 50. Vacation, we're adding 100. And water, we're adding 18. And I think this got also increased along with, like I mentioned, electric. I can't remember how much we're increasing this to. Maybe $20, $21 or something like that. But again, that'll be reflected in our actuals. Now, if we add all this up, it would be $1,733. So that is what our budget and sinking funds looks like. Next, we have our weekly check-in and our paycheck breakdown sheet. So I am going to quickly fast forward adding this in, and then we'll kind of go through the breakthrough. So all I'm actually going to do, sorry about that, is list what we just went over and then the budget amounts. And so then I'll come back on and talk about how we're going to separate it between our 4 paychecks that we get throughout the month. So see you in a bit. I'm back. So now that we have our budget, which again is the same thing we just went over, next we're going to look through our different paychecks and check out our calendar view. And I've already added our paychecks and some of our bills that we're going to go over. So first, on here, the first paycheck we expect is $1,300, and we're gonna go through our first week between the paychecks, and it looks like Hulu's the only thing that really is coming out. And then we'll move to the second. We have Netflix and electric. So Netflix, we'll put in the second column at 10. And then electric, I already got the bill and it was $130. I kind of judge how much to set aside because at the beginning of the month, I don't quite know usually. Sometimes we get the bill at the very end, but I know in the winter time it goes up. And then we're going to add life insurance also because it's so close to that third paycheck, just to keep it in the account. We're going to pause for the train. So, okay, so next our third paycheck, we have life insurance or cutters, so sewer and garbage. Sewer and garbage, we'll put here. And then next we have the Tacoma, so we'll add that up here. And then these 3 things will go in the last paycheck. So we have mortgage, which we're not quite gonna add because we're gonna see where we're at. And then phone we'll add to the end. and internet. Next, I'm going to kind of go through what we have, and out of our sinking funds, you may have noticed I added these little categories. So these are categories from our sinking funds that we're going to pull through in our paycheck breakdown. We always pull electric. Auto insurance is coming out this month, so I'm going to pull that in the beginning of the month. And then gas, we're also going to pull out. So we use our credit card for a lot of our transactions, but I like to kind of have an idea of if our credit cards weren't working, then we have the cash to handle whatever expenses come up. So that's why I like going over this. So for our auto insurance, it is $668, and so we're going to put that in the first column here. Next we have gas. We put 250 towards, but we are just going to pull 200 out throughout the month. So we'll pull 100 from the first paycheck and then 100 from the third one. We both work pretty close to where we live, so we don't have to drive too far. And then gas prices, they're not great, but they've been a little better than they were. So next, groceries. And we usually like to go to Costco in the beginning of the month, and so we're going to front load a lot of the expenses. We're still going to have some throughout the month, but so I think in the beginning we'll have 200 for the first week, 200 for the second week, 150 for the third, and then 150 for the last. So restaurant, we will pull that in the beginning. Usually we're not quite sure when we're going to use it, but we decided to try to have a date night on the first Saturday of every month. So we'll probably use that for a lot of it. And then savings. I know there are some people that like to follow the pay yourself first. For us, we don't necessarily have a problem saving. So we usually handle that at the end of the month when we are reconciling our credit cards and paying off and transferring everything for sinking funds and our savings. So we'll just put it at the end. We kind of went all over the place here. So let me fill in our paychecks. So our second one, we expect $1,400. Our third one, $1,300, and then $1,400. And I also want to note that we contribute to our 401ks as much as we can to max our employer contribution. And then we also have our medical insurance that comes from Matt's paycheck, and then I get a stipend from my work to cover the insurance that he's holding for me or for us. Next, we have a mortgage. And usually we don't have a lot coming out in the first week. So I'll hold a lot of it for that. But since we had that auto insurance, I'm not going to add anything to our mortgage from our first paycheck. So then the total fixed expenses will be $2. And then we have from our variable auto insurance, gas, groceries, restaurant. So then this will be $1,043, nothing there. Oh, I didn't put the total variable for the budget. Okay, so this down at the bottom of the balance is what the balance of the first paycheck is. So I would take $1,300 minus the total fixed of $2 minus total variable of $1,043. So that means we have $255 left over from our first paycheck that we will roll over to the next paycheck period or next week kind of thing. We don't get paid weekly, but it kind of works out that way or pretty closely. So out of our next paycheck, we don't have too much coming out, so we will pull 400. I should put lines. These are like all crooked. I'm sorry about that. So we'll pull 400 for our mortgage. Tacoma's already done. The life insurance and Netflix that we already talked about. So then the total for fixed expenses is $448. Next, for variable expenses, we have electric, groceries. That's it, so $330. So if we take the combined plus what we had left over minus our total fixed expenses minus total variable gives us $877. This will roll over to the third paycheck, or third pay period kind of thing. So throughout the month, this gives us a good idea if we need to use cash for something else. So we know that we have this buffer, and it's not just random things. It'd have to be for something in our categories, but it allows us to use that cash flow earlier in the month than later in the month. So that's helpful for us. So for the third, we have our mortgage. So we're gonna add another 400 because we have quite a bit here. So then this will be $990 for the total fixed. Then for sinking funds, groceries, sewer, and garbage, this will be $329. So if we take our combined minus our total fixed expenses minus our total variable for this pay period, we will have $858 left over for the last section. We still have our mortgage we need to fully fund, so we have $800, so then $381 is remaining. And so in the last pay period, I kind of like to double check that we have everything covered. So for mortgage, these add up to that. We've got our Tacoma payment, there's our phone bill. This line we have life insurance we've already covered. Internet we've got, Netflix we've already covered, Hulu we've already covered, and so then the remaining for our fixed expenses is $563, and we can double check this by adding these four totals, and then they would add up to this 2003. Next we have sinking funds. So this is where we need to fund the rest of our categories. We pulled out some of them, so we would have to add 668 plus 130 plus 100 plus another 100. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 998. And so then if we subtract that from 1733, we have 735 that we have left to contribute to those sinking funds. So then we could kind of keep going down our little line here, and we've got electric we've already covered, auto insurance we've already covered, gas, our groceries we've added. And this is another one, like if you have multiple that you've spread out, you can add these up. So 150 is 300, another 200 is 500, and then another 200 is that 700. Next we have sewer and garbage. That was covered last pay period. Restaurant is good. And then we have our total variable, which would be $885. And then we added our savings amount. And so this should match that. So if we add this, 1,400 plus what we had rolled over, and we subtract out our total fixed expenses, total variable expenses, and total savings, you get 0, which means we've allocated all of our paychecks to all of our bills that match what our budget we had estimated. That's what that looks like. Next we have weekly check-in. The three that I usually like to check in on are groceries, gas, and restaurant. We put the category here. We have, what did I say? Groceries, gas, and restaurant. Oh, I should have switched those so they were in alphabetical order, but that's how it goes. And then week 1, I marked here. This is the first week, so everything we spent here. And so I am actually recording this on Sunday morning, so all of this has already been track. So actually I'm gonna pull up my laptop and take a look. I do track all of our expenses and stuff on Excel for this first week. And I'll kind of go over some of the expenses. Let me see. I changed up my Excel spreadsheet and I'm not loving it. So I'm not going to show you it. It's not looking good over here. I tried new things and I'm not loving it. So, but that's okay. Okay, so I'm back. I don't remember where it left off. The battery died. I couldn't get the old battery off. I was trying to plug it in. Then I had an appointment. So I let the camera cool down and went to my appointment. Now I'm back, have a new battery in. It is what it is. So welcome back. So we will flip back to the weekly check-in. I will be checking in on groceries, gas, and restaurant. You can choose whatever categories you want. Let me see if there's any other ones that I may be interested in. I don't think so. In the past, and what I've noticed some other channels do, is they record their transactions on their monthly view and they can kind of see like patterns. Like if you get gas once a week, is it like on Mondays, then near the end of the week, or do you tend to get groceries on a certain day? But I'm not gonna do that. I track all of our transactions for our bank account, our credit card, well, for each of our bank accounts and for all of our credit cards. I have an Excel spreadsheet that kind of tracks it and categorizes them for me, so I can go over that. I have my laptop off to the side here. What do we have? Groceries first. So we've spent 157. So 157, which, well, we had 700 for groceries, means we have 543 remaining. But where's my calendar view? So we actually went grocery shopping Saturday after date night. We went grocery shopping. Welcome to your 30s. And we actually bought groceries already for this week. I think we're going to be in a good spot. I'm still going to divide this out. So we have 4 weeks left. 543 divided by 4 means that we have, we're going to round down, we have 135 for each week. So we have this much remaining, and then each week we could spend $135, which is good. I feel like that's a good spot. And for gas, I'm the only one that got gas. $28? Yeah, $28. So we actually put gas in my vehicle last night as well. Just on all the things. Gas is a little different. So you can't see this, but we put 250 in there, and there's what's not showing is the beginning, and we already have $108. So that means we have a remaining $330 in that account. So if we divide that, 1, 2, 3, 4, let me do some math. And we'll round down again. So we'll say $82 that we could spend on gas each week, which this filled my tank. I was pretty empty. I don't like to get as empty as I did. I think I had like less than 50 miles left on the gas tank, but that happens, so that's all good. And then restaurant, we went out for dinner for date night last night, and we went and got sushi, which with the tip and everything was $60. So for restaurant, we allocate 75. So we have 15 left, which I'm not going to divide out weekly. We know that we have $15 left. So I think we're good starting out January. So let's see what else. I think of that maybe we have the debt review, but that would be at the end of January. The other thing I want to note now that we're done with our budget is I did make these stickers. This whole kit. I officially opened an Etsy shop. If you want to go check it out, I'll have the link in the description. It's Brendle stickers to make it easy. I do want to say that each one of these pages is its own kit. So this is the debt review kit, monthly budget, sinking funds, weekly check-in. So this is the 4 paycheck breakdown. So it has 4 columns. There's also a 2 paycheck breakdown that only has 2 columns in case you only get paid twice a month or every other week or something. I will say I don't have like a 3 paycheck one. So if there's an instance where you get paid, say bi-weekly, so every other week, and there's a month that has 3 paychecks in it, I'd probably recommend doing the 4 paychecks just so you have a column for each one. But either way, there's some options. And so this is the other January design. It is winter needles. So it's little pine needles with some snow in there. Super cute. The colors are a little different. And then for February, we have confetti hearts, which is some little, like it says, little confetti that's shaped like hearts. Very red and Valentine's themed. I love Valentine's Day, so my February ones are going to be kind of focused on that. I do want to note that I have them saying monthly budget, so you can use these kits for whatever month you want. Like especially like this one is like very wintry, so you could use this in December. You could use it in February if you wanted. I know for us it's still pretty chilly and we can still get snow in February. Or you could do November. I mean, November is more like fall, but you know, you've got options. You can use them in the middle of July. I don't know. So this is the other February option called Blushing Hearts. And it's a little lighter than this one. Still super cute. This is the one I'll be using this year. And next we have March, which is Lucky Leaf is one of them. And where is my book? It is the one I did or used last year. So the only difference is last year I did specify March, but I'll have them as monthly so you can use them whenever. But I used that one last year, so I'm very excited to have it available for you guys. And then I kind of wanted to do one that wasn't as St. Patrick's-y, but still green. So this is this year's called Green Rush. And this is the weekly view, but it's the same concept. These are the colors. Actually, the weekly check-in doesn't have the light color in it. Hold on. Here's a look. Here is the lighter color. So those are all the 3 colors that we have. For each kit, there's 3 colors that I use for all of them. So yeah, those are what I have up in the shop. I also have these bill stickers, so like Netflix, electric, Hulu, life insurance. I also have other ones because I made some for my friend for her budget planner, and I kind of put some other ones that I thought people might like, and I thought they would be helpful. So yeah, sorry to have that little sales pitchy at the end, but I'm very excited to have it available for you guys, and I appreciate you guys following along, and I hope to be posting more and sharing more of our budget. I have a goal to post more. I would like to at least post twice a month, my monthly budget for sure, and then preferably a December, or not December, but a monthly recap. So my December recap should be the next one that's up. And if you're still here, I appreciate you. You're amazing. You're awesome. I appreciate you for watching and always being here. And if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them down below, and I will see you next time. Bye.